I I just met
Welcome to Hill. Gets open for three. Dagger!
The kick, and here it comes. Swing and a miss! And a World Series Game 7 winning Curly W is in the books.
Washington Capitals are the 2018 Stanley Cup champions. You like that? You like that? I like that.
You gotta like that, right? My approval ratings keep going up.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Complicated business.
Welcome in Defeating the Curse. The NFL season has ended, Stevie. We are coming a day late, I think, here, maybe $1 short too. The game was awesome. I'm curious what you did for the game because we were talking in the green room right before hit and go. Did you really watch the game solo?
Wait a second, Joe. This is damn near romantic on Valentine's Day. Me and you.
Hey, listen.
Okay.
It's in the evening.
I don't think everyone knows.
Lights are low over here, Stevie.
People don't know how many years we've known each other. Okay, and how long we've grown up together. Okay, this is. I mean,
right now,
huh?
A twinkle in your eye. Hey,
I'll come over right now. Okay.
You have to because I'm not leaving the house. It's too cold. I don't travel well in the winter. But it's yeah. I mean, you're right. You're right. It's Valentine's Day. This is. This is where we are. This is. I won't say my first love, right? But certainly, I mean, yeah. This is special. This is special. Thank you
for Joe.
Yeah. Did you buy flowers this year?
You know where FP is right now?
FP is probably telling somebody that he's on a podcast and he's got to go, but not planning to go to make that individual feel like he or she is more important than
FP is probably making so many promises right now that he has no intention of keeping.
It's okay. We call that move the Andre. Did you ever watch The League? Did you watch The League?
Yeah, I did. I like Phil. Is that from Modern Family?
Oh, it's Modern Family. No. The League, there was a character named Taco who would keep a printout of the doctor, Andre's ATM receipt in his wallet and then just drop it everywhere he went anytime he was meeting people, right? It's just one of those things where, you project a certain way. That's all.
FP's enjoying his Valentine's Day.
It's good. I hope he is. I hope everyone is. Matt the Met, nobody's heard from him. This guy, all I see from the only updates I get from Matt these days are on his fitness tracker. These guys logging 6-7 miles a day. I don't know what's going on over there.
He's reporting for spring training. Come on.
It's a big day. It's a big day.
I'm ready for the Super Bowl, man. I got a lot of thoughts, and I mean.
So did you watch Solo?
Did
you watch Solo?
Was this best Super Bowl ever?
First time. So I gotta. Yeah, I mean,
you got to do it.
It must be nice. It must be nice.
I mean, you watch a football. You enjoy a football game.
Yeah, I mean, it's arguably the two best teams. Basically from start to finish. The Chiefs are a fascinating case study. I think we will remember this season for a long time to come from regarding how bad they were during stretches, how much off-field distraction. But, I a couple weeks back, I was, I think I shared on the show, we were having I don't remember what Wingstop or Velocity. We went somewhere to get wings. Somebody was just constantly in my ear about Mahomes. And I was like, look, if he gets it done, then, he leapfrogs from amazing to GOAT conversation. Right. And I'm going to eat my words here. I gotta own it. I was wrong, man. He is that good.
Well, I'll give you a comparison that I texted John from Chantilly a couple hours before the game because
PVI John,
the Mahomes coasting through the regular season was, if you remember, in 96. Okay, we were wee little pups in 96. 96, the Bulls set the right. I know I'm going cross-reference.
I knew exactly where you were going.
72 wins.
Yep.
But then 97, 98, their regular seasons
they didn't have to
they were marred by controversy, injuries.
He was out in Vegas. They
were coasting. They absolutely were coasting.
But that's where the modern NBA is now, right? This whole it's right.
I wouldn't know. I haven't seen an NBA game forever. But
the idea of resting your players, the regular season doesn't matter. Turn it on at the end. Blah blah.
But Jordan was allowed to do that because he got to a level where he didn't care. He could turn it on and turn it off whenever he wanted.
Yep.
Mahomes is at that level. The only difference. And this is what I texted John from Chantilly, that I was shocked a couple hours before the Super Bowl and finding this out.
Little to no help.
This brother's 28 years old.
Yeah, he's much younger. He's doing it much younger against in a far more he's also been able to stay injury free for the majority of his career, which is awesome. And God bless him. Right? That's a good thing.
And you, I jumped over that point, but you are 100% right. He has very little help, and that's not going to be that way forever because that front office with Andy Reid can reload, and they trade Tyreek Hill and they reload. He
legitimately, I mean, the Chiefs just won the Super Bowl without a legitimate number one or maybe even number two receiver on their roster. And that is like, people always want to give Brady all the accolades for getting it done with, pieces here and there, right? He did have Randy for a while. Like Wes Welker was and some of the other pieces, like they were like who on Mahomes is from the Chiefs' current receiving core would they lose? And you would say that the team is worse. Like there's not
minus Kelsey.
Yeah, Kelsey aside. Kelsey's tight end, right? I'm saying specifically at the receiver position. Who would they lose in free agency that would cause any concern? Any addition to that wide receiver room is a net positive. And that's an amazing, I don't mean to disparage those guys in the room. Obviously, they just won the Super Bowl and good for them. But they are not good. I mean, that has got to be one of the lowest rated receiving groups in the league. And that's why for me, like I look back at this game, NFL Network's replaying it now. We're 3 days removed from it. So like I've seen like chunks of the game over and over now, just had it on in the office or whatever. And I can't shake this feeling, Stevie, that the 49ers lost the game more so than the Chiefs won it. And it's just, they had McCaffrey running well from the fourth quarter into overtime. But you just look at it like, how can you have players and coaches saying we weren't prepared for overtime? We didn't know the rules. I mean, I didn't know the rules, right? Like, and it's the first time they've used the new overtime rules, whatever. But, a lot of people are killing the 49ers and Kyle in particular for opting to receive the ball to start overtime. I got to be honest. I think that was the right call. And in hindsight, I still think that was the right call. His offensive unit was hot. They were able to run the ball. They wanted to grind. That's the better unit that they have. Like, why wouldn't you try to go down there, get 7, you settle for 3, and hope your defense, gets a turnover, gets something of a stop, and that's it. You win.
Yeah. I think there were many ways the 49ers lost this game. I don't think the overtime call was one of them. I'll give you a couple just off the top of my head. Your first possession of the game, you are gashing them, and a McCaffrey fumble in the red zone kills it. I'll give you the other one, the Mahomes interception to start the second half. You don't get points off of that. You get an interception on their first possession. You're up. You have a chance to put your foot on their throat, and you go backwards. You end up punting. Yeah. Terrible. And then I think what ended up getting Steve Wilkes fired today is how soft that defense played in those last 2 possessions where the Chiefs were driving. Kyle Shanahan threw his clipboard down when calling timeout. He was so fed up that he almost essentially took over the defense because they were playing. And Romo called it. Romo, of course, one of the best. He was circling those 5 guys, that 5 shell defense that they're giving. It was 2nd and 14 after a 4-yard loss on first down, and they give up an 8-yard pass to MVS. There was no defense. They were giving it up. And then
this was a defense that had been playing like I don't. You got to look at Greenlaw and say like that was a huge loss for them, right? And I mean, you've popped an Achilles, I've popped an Achilles. Like at least we were in the act of playing at the time it happened. This guy, like I feel terrible for him. Like imagine you're getting sub. He took 1 play off, right, to rest.
He was popping around that first series, man.
He was ready to go. He was coming back in, popped his Achilles, and then had to watch his team lose in overtime. Like it's one thing when you're Aaron Rodgers and like everyone's hyped up for the season, and you pop your Achilles in game 1, possession 1. It's got to sting a whole lot more when you're in the Super Bowl, like with a chance to win, basically, and it happens to you. Then I definitely felt for him, and maybe that changed how the 49ers came out, from that point forward, right, from their defensive pack. I don't know.
Such a cop out, Joe. I mean, look, did the Chiefs offensive line?
I'll tell you, for me, if you're the 49ers and the Chiefs start with, punt, field goal, punt, interception, whatever it was, you couldn't have asked for if you're a 49ers guy, you couldn't have asked for a better start to the game defensively than the Chiefs basically stalling. The Chiefs really, honestly, they did nothing until about halfway through the 3rd quarter when they found their groove.
And all of that, it was still 10-3. And that's when you knew the Niners are in trouble because you're right. You go down the field, that first possession, you get the ball, and that McCaffrey fumble, that should be 7 points. Your defense is playing lights out. You should be up 17-3 because you knew the Chiefs were going to get it together. You knew they were going to make adjustments.
Andy was going to find a way to scheme somebody open. Like, that Andy Reid is good for 7 to 10 points on his own, right? If it's a close game, and I think we said this in the preview show, if it's close, it 100% favors the Chiefs. Because Andy, as great, really, as Kyle might be as a coach, Andy is great now, and he has been great for a long time. And I think there's a case to be made that he's better than Belichick. I just do. Like, he's done it. He's sustained excellence with the Eagles. He has now rebuilt and sustained excellence with the Chiefs, and he's getting it done with a young quarterback. And really, with there's no talent offensively outside of Kelsey and Mahomes. It's actually amazing, right? And people made a big deal about Kelsey bumping the coach. I didn't like that look. It's, you got 1 catch for 1 yard at that point in the game. I don't know what Travis is yelling about on the sideline. Like, somehow if he's in the game, does Pacheco not fumble? I don't know. But yeah, Andy's a really, really good coach. And he's going to find a way to get, dink and dunk passes to below average receivers. And they're going to find a way to fall forward for positive yards. And eventually they're going to score. It's like, if you're a 49ers fan, like our guy 20, you've got, like, going into the fourth quarter, you're not feeling confident in that game. Like, you can't, there's no groove. Purdy, I think Purdy played as well as you could have asked him to play. Debo, I don't know, like some of the skill positions.
He was hurt. He was a decoy. It was very clear. The unsung heroes of the Kansas City Chiefs, if you really watch that game and you really look at it, the MVPs of that game, forget about Mahomes and all those guys, the MVPs, Ladarius Sneed and the rest of that secondary. And there was zero separation from those wide receivers. They were on as soon as Spags went to man. And Spags said this in an interview a day or two ago, saying Purdy was ripping up the zone. And he actually credited Brock, but he said that guy was picking apart our zone. He knew exactly where he needed to go. So we had to go to man. So once you go to man, if you guys can't cover, it's game over. And he took that. And that's why I think Debo, I don't think there's many guys that could cover Debo one-on-one. And I don't think there's anyone on the Chiefs that could cover him when he's healthy.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think he was healthy. And honestly, I think Kyle called a great game. I have no problem with him abandoning the run because it wasn't working. So this idea that, the Chiefs were stacking the box in the beginning of the third. They knew that the 49ers were going to try to run this thing out.
They were also doing that in overtime, and McCaffrey was ripping them. He was like, there's nothing to save him for, right? Like, there's no next game. There's barely, maybe even next possession. Like, you've got to go get points. And what do you make of the team not knowing or not being aware of the overtime rules? I found that to be, maybe a little bit concerning, that you maybe you weren't as prepared. Whereas, obviously it leaks, they ask him in the post game, they ask Mahomes and Andy, even the broadcasters, to be honest, they were addressing the clock, 10 seconds and it's running, like it's of no consequence. Like,
exactly. But that's how I feel about the players now. Why does it matter? It matters that Kyle knows the rule. Why does it matter that Fred Warner knows that if they score a touchdown, the other team gets the ball?
Maybe they're not. I don't know. Maybe they're clock watching, thinking they're not going to snap it, or they have to snap. I don't know. That's a good question.
No, their job is to make a stop. Whether that doesn't matter, as long as the coaches know the rule. I think that's much ado about nothing. I think people try to create these narratives. I think Kyle Shanahan coached a great game. I think he got a little timid towards the end there, kind of clock watching, like you're saying. But
if you are Kyle, are you receiving, or you sending your defense out there to try to stop Mahomes?
Well, Kyle's explanation made perfect sense. He said he wanted the first possession because he also wanted the third possession.
Right.
The idea is if both teams are tied after 2 possessions, it becomes sudden death.
Yes,
that's a giant advantage. You just need to go kick a field goal, you win the game.
Right.
And so I'm betting that my team's going to score a touchdown. I'm also, what he's also saying is I'm intrinsically betting that they're going to score a touchdown also.
Yeah.
And so he took that bet.
Yeah, I'm with you on this. I don't know why people are ripping him so hard for this. His offense was rolling to end the game. His offense, obviously they came out and McCaffrey was running. He was running fine. They were able to go down and get a field goal. I think I would have done the same. Oh, maybe the offense was tired, this and that. The offensive side of the ball for the 49ers, frankly, is better than the defensive side. It's a long game. You've been battling these guys for 60 plus minutes at this point. I think the confidence to go get points is always going to. I think it's also going to play better with amongst the team and the players. Like, it's different when let's go get points. It's a different mentality than we got to stop these guys, right? There's a whole lot of pressure on the defense to go get a stop. And to their credit, they almost did, but Mahomes is just that good. And I like I said, earlier, he has to be, given his age, his accolades, his individual accomplishments, and what he did this season in particular with this roster of basically castaway receivers, spare parts, rookies, and an aging tight end. This is so impressive. And they didn't go out there and beat if they had beat the Lions, right? I think the line or maybe some of the talking points would be like the Lions were just happy to be there. The stage was too big, blah, blah, blah. They beat the 49ers, who were just there like 5 minutes ago.
And the Ravens.
And the Ravens, right? Like, they tore through 2 or 3 of the top 4 or 5 teams in the league to get to this. And I mean, how do you not mention Mahomes if you're mentioning Brady or Montana or anyone else? Like, he has to have, at this point, he has surpassed Manning, and I believe he has surpassed Brady as well. I do believe Mahomes at this point. He's still playing. He's under 30. He's the best to ever play the position.
Oh, I mean, that's a bold statement there. Okay.
How would you challenge me in that he isn't? I mean, the titles and the MVPs are there.
And the longevity that Brady had. I mean, 7 Super Bowls, 2 different teams, not the most talented rosters at every time. I think Mahomes is going to get there. I think he's going to get to the number of 7. I mean, if he's really 28, he's got minimum 7 years left till he's 35. And Brady,
if not,
he can go till he's 40. So, but the interesting thing, Mahomes is not in great shape. We all saw the dad bod.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I guess Brady wasn't in great shape either.
No, I mean, Aaron. I mean, Brady was in amazing shape for his age, right? I mean, when you adjust for age, like, some of these guys are in better shape than others, but I don't think it factors in that much. I think where he deserves a lot of credit is being able to read defenses, audible out, and then just make the right decision, repeat, like, more often than not, like overwhelmingly 80-90% of the time, he's making the right read and the right pass.
Well, and that's what I was so struck by. If you watch Brady's Super Bowls, those 2-minute drives, when he came back against his first Super Bowl against the Rams, and I think it was the Eagles and maybe the Panthers, these 2-minute drives, Brady's driving down the field. He doesn't make a throw over 10 yards for the most part. I mean, these are dump offs that get 10, 15-yard chunks, and he'll get into field goal range, and Vinatieri will kick it from, mid to upper 40s.
Yep.
So, Mahomes struck me as very similar, especially at the end of regulation. It was a lot of dump offs. And that's what I think was driving Kyle crazy.
Yeah.
Was that you're playing this shell defense. You're letting them have these chunks of yards.
Yes. Why are we in this random prevent set or this pseudo prevent? Why are we letting them have 4 or 5 chunks? 4 or 5 yard chunks at a time. Why?
And when you compare it to the Niners on offense in those significant moments, what was Spags doing? Blitzing. It was that big 3rd down where guy blitzed, tipped the ball.
So I was watching it. I was watching at home. We had some people over early with the kids, and then the kids left, so the game was paused. We weren't watching in real time, my wife and I. But she's an avid football fan herself. She was like, they're blitzing on every 3rd down, third down. They're bringing the house every single time, no exception. 3rd and 1, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 9. They are going, and they're going to get a stop. They're going to force Purdy into a decision, and they did it consistently from the beginning of the game to the end, and it paid off. I mean, it ultimately paid off.
The only way it worked, though, was that those man coverages needed to win.
Sure. And they were able to.
Yeah. I mean, Ayuk is bitching about, I don't know, his girl is bitching or someone is upset about whatever. And it's just like
season, you're going to get there. I mean, both of these teams had slumps in the middle of the season. If I'm not mistaken, the 49ers dropped 3 in a row. I think the Chiefs dropped 5. At one point during the season, or 4 in a row, something like that. So it is, I think it is good for the league to have teams be able to drop that many games fight back, claw back, obviously, and still make it to the and frankly, the Super Bowl, even though it was low scoring, it was a good game. I mean, it was a good game. Your guy Usher, of course, put on a great halftime show. How'd you feel about Usher?
Oh, when he took that shirt off, man, he's jacked.
There was a prop bet on the.
You were talking about some HGH. He looks like he's been on some roids.
That's how they do it. I mean, because nobody should have a body like that at 41.
He looked good, and he was holding Alicia Keys.
Yeah,
she's a married woman. I guess she's got her.
I mean, it wasn't the best performance of all time.
It wasn't.
It was good. It was good. You know, like the I don't remember what the number was, but the Super Bowl in LA where Snoop, Dre, and whatever, that was a great halftime show. Maroon 5, I thought, still a super underrated halftime show.
Come on, Joe.
Bruno did a great job, right?
Dude,
Once upon a time.
Shakira, J-Lo, Miami. Come on.
Ago. Do you know the history of the halftime show? Do you know what used to happen? Do you know who did the first Super Bowl halftime show? It was a good poll, 93.
That wasn't the first halftime show. Michael Jackson wasn't the first halftime show.
It was the first marquee halftime show that was broadcast.
Yes.
During the game.
But there were other halftime shows before that.
Halftime show, but I'm saying when MJ signed on to do it, it was the first time that it was broadcast as part of the broadcast. Like you could see the halftime show on TV. Up until 93, all of the competing networks that didn't have the Super Bowl used to run their premiere show, sitcom, whatever, during that 20-minute window, commercial free. It was fascinating. I went down this rabbit hole a couple days ago reading about it. But it's
you remember the MJ performance?
I mean, I think it was in the Rose Bowl, and I vaguely remember, like I've seen clips of it since.
He was so big of a man at that time, where he comes on, he pops up, and he just sits there for almost 2 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Controlling everything, just is crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. But he was the first to But do you know what Apple Music paid from sponsorship perspective? This is also fascinating. So to sponsor the halftime show is something like $30 million or something absurd. But the artists have to bring their own money if it exceeds. Like the artists get a $7 million budget or $10 million like set budget. Usher's cost like $14 million, which is a lot. So that money's coming from his pocket, right? So strategically, 2 days before the Super Bowl, he drops his new album and whatever.
Well, I read that he got paid $700 for his performance,
something like that. Yeah. Like these numbers sometimes, like when you really sit down, like write $14 million on a piece of paper and look at it, right? Like that's a lot of freaking zeros, right? But we just talk about it like it's whatever. Like,
Joe, you sell that number in 2 houses in a day. Come on, Joe.
100 million.
Come on,
100 million. I mean, the halftime show was fine. I mean, there was a lot of bangers. The prop bet that we were tracking was over under 11 songs performed, and he ended at like 14 and change. But like some of the supporting cast looked pretty old, like Ludacris coming out with the
Will.i.am.
Yeah, what's his face? Jermaine Dupri, I think, was part of that. Like a little bit. Some of these guys.
He looked like CeeLo.
You think we'll ever see a band again? There's not many bands left. Like a band,
like U2.
Yeah, like a U2. I don't think we're gonna ever get one of those. Maybe. Who knows? It was
a good show.
It was a good show. It was a great game. And we move on to the offseason.
Romo did a good job. Nance did a good job.
Why are people still killing Romo? I know Brady's coming into the booth next year, but why? I mean, Romo's still catching heat for being, there could be a run, it could be a pass. We'll just have to see. And people.
I thought he did great. All these young kids, man, all they want to do is complain. All they want to do is complain.
I'm gonna turn my mic off. You go ahead.
Okay. I'm just saying. Okay.
Grant
These guys don't know nothing about nothing. Where's LP? LP doesn't know nothing.
LP wants to join the show that starts recording at 11:30. I don't know how to I want the guy on because he's the only one that knows the new assistant to the assistant, the run game coordinator for the whatever. Like he's the only one. Him and FP are the only two people on the planet tracking all of the hires. We're gonna end up with more coaches than players on the 2024 Commanders, and they seem to be totally fine with it. I'm the only one that's maybe just a little bit critical. Like there's just too many. Like why do you need so many people to coach professionals? I don't understand.
I mean, FP is all in on this Dan Quinn guy.
He loves him.
I have never seen
to adopt him. He's all in.
I want to shout out the Redskins PR team because they have made a believer out of FP. Okay.
He flipped quick too. He went from White Ron to, whatever. Yeah. I mean, look, Are you following all the Commanders news? All the coaching?
No. I
positions?
don't got time for that. I'm trying to follow Putin and Tucker and whatever Sleepy Joe's doing. What is Sleepy Joe doing? Dude, I can't respect.
He's confusing world leaders.
I cannot respect.
You got to talk to somebody over at the White House, okay? Because somebody in their infinite wisdom thought the best thing from a PR perspective on the heels of Putin giving a 90-minute dissertation is to trot out, Joe Biden, President Biden.
Joe, come on, you're smarter than that. The knives are out for him. They're setting him up. I can't respect anyone that still thinks Biden is going to run for president in 10 months. I can't look at them. What a ridiculous concept.
Who is they're going to leave? They're going to vacate the seat and let Trump run unopposed? Who's going to run? Who's going to run?
They got plenty of people. Yeah, Gavin Newsom beats Trump by 6 points. Big Mike? Oh, I shouldn't.
No. Listen, I'm still in on the
Pete
market.
Buttigieg beats Trump.
No, oh, oh my God. What world are you living in?
Dude, the world of, how many new voters we have? And I'm putting it nicely, new voters coming from the South.
Yeah.
That's the world I live in.
Well, we have Chinese folks coming from the North too. So it's that 60 Minutes piece, by the way. So my buddy Mark sent that to me. I don't know if you watched that piece, but 60 Minutes did a piece on specifically on Chinese immigration, like illegal immigration, and it was fascinating. Like it's fascinating. But anyway.
Dude, for Biden not to do, by the way, that Super Bowl, the most softball interview that he was going to get.
He's got double glaucoma.
It was taped. It would have been taped too. They could have even reshot it.
That's it. He can't see. Like it's over, man. Like I'm not going to comment on whether I think he's a good person or not, but as a human, I feel bad for him, man. Like that's it. Like this guy belongs on give him unlimited ice cream and a beach and just leave him alone. Like he can't possibly, like, he's confusing the presidents of Mexico and Egypt. And I know everybody a lot of our social circle got a kick out of it because we're Egyptian, right? But like he's not there anymore. Mentally, he's just not there. You can't.
The Putin interview was incredible. It was actually incredible.
I was surprised how much heat Tucker. I knew Tucker was going to catch heat for it. I'm surprised how much, and it's got some staying power too.
What does he care?
I mean, he's trying to grow a brand, right? He's trying to sell subscriptions to behind his paywall. He's trying to get some stuff done.
He did what he was supposed to do. He sat down with a guy and teed him up to talk about whatever he wanted to talk about. Was he supposed to push back? What's he going to push back on? The history of Russia? This brother laid out in full detail the history of the current escalation and war in incredible detail. I mean, this guy's playing chess. The other guy's playing chess. The other guy ain't even playing checkers.
He's not playing. He's barely sitting at the table.
He doesn't know where the game is.
He's trying to figure out. He's playing Uno. It's a different game, different sport altogether.
He's playing with what those little babies play with, those little mobiles or whatever.
So I am surprised though that you think they're going to do a switcheroo. I would imagine at the DNC. That's when
I can't believe you don't think that's going to happen. You're crazy.
I think it costs them. I think it seals the party's fate. I just do.
Dude, that's why I'm so upset.
They can't run the VP as a presidential option, right? And
disaster.
Anytime you remove the VP from an incumbent ticket, you're going to lose, right? That doesn't happen, right? You're admitting failure.
You're talking about normal traditional rules. This is a non-traditional. My fear, and this is why I was anti-Trump, was that the only candidate Trump can beat is Joe Biden. And the only candidate Trump can lose to is not Joe Biden. That makes sense?
So if it's Joe Biden, you got Trump. If it's anyone else, you got Field. You're taking the field against them.
It's not me. That's what the polls say. I mean, that's just...
the polls know nothing. The polls had Hillary winning by in a landslide.
That was different.
Polls... Yeah, that's when votes counted. So, that was, it was a little different back then. Simpler world in 2016.
Hey, going back to Super Bowl, man, I love that RFK Jr. commercial.
I loved it too. But I mean, he only takes votes away from one party. So, I would be tempted, depending on who. He doesn't have a VP candidate, does he? I don't think so.
Maybe Cheryl?
Maybe. Who knows? Who knows?
I love his wife, man. She's delightful.
I still think of Mark Cuban
Oh,
you know,
please.
it could be. It'd be interesting. It'd be interesting.
Musk ended Mark Cuban's career.
He did. And Clay Travis goes in on him pretty hard too. All right, so you're not following Commanders news. It doesn't seem like you care. Do you think they will trade up from 2-1 to grab?
God, I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not too. Do you think they'll do it though? That's the question.
No, from the very little I know about this front office, they don't strike me as a move heaven and earth and put all your chips in. I mean, these guys have confidence in themselves to build a team, and so why would they take away chips and pieces that they could use? You know,
I generally agree with that. I think they will stay at 2. I think if Caleb slips, they would take him. I think otherwise it's probably going to be Jaden Daniels. I still think that I would love to see them fall back further in the draft in the first round and grab other more picks and just draft for all of the needs on the team. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. April's quite a ways away. The other big thing I wanted to jump into here is, I know you're headed to Florida soon.
Let's go. Pitchers and catchers.
Yeah. This is still like the unofficial start of the baseball season, right?
No, it's the official start. What do you mean?
Official start was spring training.
Yeah, next week, spring training.
So what's the difference between reporting and spring training?
No. Pitchers and catchers report are the first groups to report to spring training.
Why not left fielders?
Because that's how it is. They already got video of Shohei Ohtani back from Tommy John surgery, and he's just hitting bombs.
So are Dodgers must watch every night at this point then? Yeah.
I mean, 2 of the 5 nights pitching. Well, Shohei's not going to be pitching, but you're going to have Yamamoto on the mound. They're going to be. I mean, the Braves, Dodgers. Just watching them. I mean, they won't collide until obviously, the postseason directly. But watching that chase and that just the 2 powerhouses. The Braves may be even more talented than the Dodgers, as presently constructed.
What about here locally in DC? Well, what does the outlook for the Nationals look like?
It's nothing to watch until the young guys come up.
Is there a chance that we see them earlier in the season, or do you think Rizzo will wait to make sure that the team is not moving forward?
Well, there's rules about eligibility. So if they come up too early, they lose a year of eligibility, like on their contracts, or their contracts would have to be negotiated. They'd get another year of playing on that contract. So Rizzo is very smart about when he brings them up in June, September, whatever it is. He's not going to bring them up earlier than they're ready for. But I mean, if they show out at spring training, they could start the season on the right. There's a couple of guys, James Wood, top 5 prospect. I mean, has he done enough in AA, AAA ball that, if you're Rizzo, you might feel a little bit of pressure to bring them up soon, sell some tickets, get some excitement, because the current roster is bad. It's bad.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. What do we expect as Joe the casual baseball fan? How many Nats games am I watching outside of the first inning of the first game?
No, there's no reason for you to watch. There's no reason for the casual fan to watch.
This is the problem, right? This is a huge problem.
I'm going to watch because I'm not a casual fan. So I will watch all the time with the kids. We'll keep stats and follow these young guys. We already got players. We love CJ Abrams. He's going to be a great player, but it ain't exciting. I mean, you go from, Soto and Harper and Trey Turner and Schwarber. And I mean, these guys are hitting bombs and making incredible plays and all-stars. No.
I mean, Matt was hyping up the Mets a little bit too. I mean, did you see anything there? Or obviously with the Yankees and, but the Mets in particular, division foe. I don't know. Matt just seems Matt's always excited about the Mets.
He's a good guy. He's completely wrong. He's a good guy.
He is a good guy. What about Soto? What do you do with Soto now? I know the boys. Your boys were huge on Soto.
Well,
they rocking pinstripes now or what?
He's got the Soto Yankees. I don't have it next to me. He's got the Yankees jersey, and they're going to be I mean, Soto's going to have. If I was putting money on AL MVP, he'd be my pick. Because, I mean, he's going to be batting in front of Aaron Judge. He is going to get pitches to hit that he has never seen before. I don't care who he was batting in front of here in D.C. or even Manny Machado and Tatis in San Diego. I mean, he's gonna rake. And so, right now, you got the new look Orioles, who obviously new ownership group, investing in some renovations to the stadium.
Yep.
They made the big trade for Corbin Burns, incredible pitcher, elite pitcher. You got the Orioles and Yankees almost akin to the Braves and Dodgers. I mean, it's this arms race to, these powerhouses in the AL and NL. And Orioles is going to be fun, man. You talk about casual fan. If you're a casual fan, you're making the drive up 95 probably 2 or 3 times this year to go catch a nose game because that's fun as hell.
I'm not driving. I'm not.
No, you're making a day of it. You're getting crabs. You're going
I got my T-Mobile MLB season, whatever they call it, right? Like I just need to know, like which team am I gonna? I guess I can't get the Orioles.
No,
there'll be local blackout, but
Yankees, Dodgers.
Yeah, Yankees and Dodgers we can get though. Yeah, we can definitely do that. I wonder if the sale of the Orioles, does it impact the media streaming rights or the rights to the Nationals? Like, did they get off Masson 2 now, or is it still?
Well, I think I was going to say Goodell. I'm blanking on the
Let's see, like,
is he still on K Street?
Well, I'm sure he is.
He's a big time lawyer.
Hold on, I gotta Google. It's gonna drive me crazy now.
Rob Manfred. Rob Manfred.
The commissioner?
You fact checking me? It's Rob Manfred.
I think that's what I just said.
No, you didn't. You said
I did.
You said Tagliabue.
It's Robert Dean Manfred Jr.
That's what I just said.
Born in 1940. Oh my God.
One of the stipulations of the sale of the Orioles was to fix the Masson deal. So it looks like,
but he did. It's still Masson 2. They're the last 2 teams, or like they're 2 of the last 5 teams in all of professional sports that are on HTS, or like
I was going to say, is it HTS or HTN?
It was HTS, Home Team Sports. Remember, HTS became Comcast Sportsnet, which became NBC Sports Washington, which for the Wizards and Caps is now Monumental.
Yeah, well, you want to talk about Monumental, man? They're having a go of it.
Hey, one of us said this whole thing was a ploy. It was never going to leave DC, and look what's happening now. It turns out the Alexandria Bills, it's over.
When you say a ploy, you're saying he doesn't want to leave, and he's just using it as a bargaining chip. No, it is very clear he wants to go.
I believe he wants to leave. I also believe he will not leave DC. It's done.
Ship is sailed.
It's done. No, what are you talking about? The Virginia House of Delegates said Youngkin was outside of his authority, and
now it's a matter of who's going to pay for it. But
okay, so when if it finds its way onto the ballot in October or in November, Virginians won't pay for it. They won't do it.
But Leonsis then will pay for it.
I don't think he will. I don't think he's going to walk away from $600 or $700 million to refurbish MCI Center. There's no way.
He really wants it.
But yes, he wants it because it's his legacy and his brand and whatever. But
is he ruining his legacy?
I think a little bit. I think there's a little bit of tarnish on it now.
You've seen the backlash.
Yeah. More so for the Wizards which is ironic, than the Caps, right? The Caps are the organization with sustained winning over the last, 2 decades or so. And it's nice to see Alex Ovechkin on the heater, but the Caps really do belong to Virginia more so than the Wizards do, but the Wizards, they really do belong. It's very similar to when the Redskins moved to Raljon. Like to me, it feels.
Is this a race thing? Are we talking race? Are you beating around the bush here?
I don't think it's a race thing. I think Washingtonians and Virginians generally felt like the map of Redskins fans was always DC and all the way south, basically like through Charlotte, North Carolina. Moving them into Maryland and then having the Ravens relocate like 15 minutes up 95, it destroyed the fan base. And I think that's the fear here as well. I think if you do move them into, not to say that the NBA is going to put a team in Baltimore, but couldn't you see it happening? Like it's too far. Like it's too far. Like these teams belong to DC. They're all Washington XYZ. They got to find a way to get them in DC. I personally would like them to stay where they are.
I hate Chinatown.
But the simple fact
sucks, man.
It's easier for everyone to get there. It's easier. It's central. It's central.
Then Potomac Yards.
Sure. Yeah.
No,
a metro station isn't designed. How many water taxis are you going to be chartering to get people over across?
You're going to take metro? You're going to put your life in your own hands?
But
Terrifying.
that's part of why the Virginia House of Delegates 86 the whole thing is because they're, the original proposal asked for like 9,000 parking spaces, which is not enough for a 22,000 person stadium or a 19,000 person stadium. But there's only actual spaces based on the latest rendering for like 2,600 spots, which means there's no parking, which is why the people there are in full on revolt because all those cars will flood. You used to live right next to the Nats Park. What would happen with parking?
Everybody would park around the neighborhood.
Yeah, cars everywhere, right? DC.
The price you pay for living near a ballpark. You know what happened to my property value? Pros and cons. Come on.
Because of the Nats or because of everything that came with the Nats?
Yes.
Probably, right? Yeah.
Everything. What are these people in Alexandria complaining about?
Traffic.
Please. Dude, come on.
Really close to the airport. That's why.
I was the only one in Tyson's that was for this casino that they shot down.
I don't know. Where were they going to put it? Do you remember? Where?
Dude, come on Spring Hill Road across from the Tesla.
Okay.
Tesla's on Tycho.
Yeah.
The Spring Hill was the street before it. Spring Hill Road, N7.
Like where that old furniture store used to be, the Ethan Allen?
Next door to it.
Okay.
I'm sure they would demolish that too, but yeah. Sure.
So why was it canceled?
Residents went crazy. There was a bunch of groups that went crazy. You know why? Because they saw what happened to MGM National Harbor at MGM.
What happened, Steve? You tell us.
The riffraff.
Well, the riffraff comes. That's how it works. That's how it works.
But that's a bigger issue. It's not a casino issue.
But it would be an Alexandria and Potomac Yard issue too. Would it not? Yeah.
I think DC's in real trouble right now, and it's on life support. And Leonsis could give him the death blow here.
But if he leaves, I think it opens the door for an immediate return of the Commanders.
Redskins are going right back, 100%.
Yeah. But it would be. I think I would like to see them all in the district personally, and I think it's better for DC.
Yeah, but they would need to clean up the city.
They can do that. Why not hire people? Like people aren't working. Hire more police.
The current administration cannot.
That's your girl. You're wow. I'm surprised.
I will bite my tongue. Okay.
Okay. Well, I mean, now what do we do? Like the NFL season is over. This is 18 weeks or 19 weeks in a row of us talking NFL. And it's it's been great, but are we supposed to watch the NBA now, or what do we do now?
I mean,
live. What are we supposed
to watch? FP clearly made his show. We know what FP's doing.
FP is on. I think he's on date 3. I think he had a lunch.
I think it's generous to call them dates.
A dinner 1, and he's on dinner 2, and I might see him on Fortnite here in a little bit. Yeah, but I mean, are you going to watch the NBA? Like, what do you do now to fill your sports need?
I'm going to a GW basketball game on Saturday, cheering on the Colonials, Revolutionaries, whatever they call them now.
Yeah, it can't be. You can't. There's no way they're the Colonials.
No.
Pop's still the coach.
I love Pops Mitsubonsu.
He's on the coaching staff, right?
He's not on the coaching staff.
Oh, okay.
I think he's in the G League. Is there a D League?
It's the G League, yeah.
G League?
Yeah. Lamar Butler, our guy from Mason, is one of the coaches on the Mason team now.
I met his father was a security guard for the Nationals. Actually,
really?
Built quite a friendship with his father. His father used to protect the parking lot for the players. Me and the kids used to go down there and get autographs.
How did you connect the dots that he was Lamar Butler's pops?
He told me my son's Lamar Butler. Oh, I said the guy who won the Final Four. Yeah,
Lamar Butler actually one time guest on this show. If I'm not mistaken. I believe we interviewed him once upon a time during March Madness to get his take on the 2006 run. But it is interesting. Like Tony Skinn got hired to be the coach at George Mason, who was also on that team. Tony Skinn was on the 06 George Mason Final Four team. Played in Europe for almost 11 seasons. Then he came back and was coaching, and he got hired by Mason. He immediately hired Lamar Butler. So I did get a chance to chat with him about that. I don't know, like four months ago. The team's doing well though. Like
where's Larinaga?
Miami.
He was in Miami.
Did he move on again?
I don't know.
I'm not sure. No, it's not. I don't really pay attention to. I go to Peter for all my college basketball.
No, you got Peter from Herndon. Look, you got a couple weeks of college basketball.
Okay.
Then you're getting March Madness. I mean, March is one of the best months of the year because you're getting opening day, March Madness, and the Masters.
You also get NFL draft fever pitch starts.
That's if you're LP and FB. Do you know anything about the Waste Management Open?
That's a terrible name, and it sounds like you're making it up.
You don't know about this.
This is a real thing?
It's a golf tournament in Phoenix, Arizona, where a bunch of bros from the ages of, I don't know, 22 to 35 descend upon this golf tournament. And basically, it's an entire drunken debauchery. And they had like 50 people black out, 200 people arrested. You got to go on X and search these videos. It's
the Waste Management Open?
Waste Management's the company that sponsors.
Yeah. Dumpster company, the trash company. Okay.
Yeah. And it's just known.
So if you win this tournament, you get the Waste Management
trophy.
Nobody sees that as terrible branding.
I mean, I don't know about that. You got to go down on X and look at these videos. Apparently, it's just as known as this debauchery. And even all the players were getting upset because people were yelling during their backswings, and it wasn't a golf tournament. It was like Happy Gilmore. I don't know if you've seen Happy Gilmore. It was wild. They closed beer sales. They closed alcohol sales on Saturday because it got so out of control.
Ask me if I had seen Happy Gilmore.
No, I didn't. I assume you have.
Okay.
I said it was like Happy Gilmore.
Yeah. R.I.P. to Apollo Creed, who's in there.
That's true. Billy Madison, significantly better movie
than Happy Gilmore.
Oh, don't buy the hype. Billy Madison, that Veronica Vaughn.
I know. Get the questions right, Stevie. You can see my boobies. Yes.
Who you know who that is?
She's that's Stifler's mom.
No, I don't know if that's Stifler's mom. That's Tom Brady's ex-wife.
First ex-wife.
Yeah, Bridget Moynihan.
Yeah. No, I didn't know that. Guys, core memories. I don't need to remember this stuff. I don't. But you're wrong about Happy. You got Shooter McGavin. There's no antagonist in Billy Madison.
The bus driver.
They fall off a cliff in the beginning, don't they? The Doyle Rules people.
No.
Right?
No. Rewatch it. You're gonna love it.
I might need to rewatch it. Okay, but no NBA for you.
No.
0.
I watched a Suns Warriors game. The Saturday night?
Yeah.
Steph hit the game winner, yeah.
Steph played great.
Yeah. Stupid.
It's not stupid, but he's been playing for so long and doing the same shtick for so long that it seems very mundane now. But it's still very impressive what he's doing. I mean, 11 threes.
Everybody shoots threes. Stupid.
He makes them.
The game sucks.
Yeah, has he done more to change the game than Michael Jordan did?
In the negative, sure.
In general, like people will always. I think you have to. Yeah, the amount of
Jordan changed it off the court.
Jordan changed. Oh, endorsements and
the
shoes and whatever. Sure. I mean, are you impressed with what LeBron's doing? Have you followed him at all this season? He's still getting it done. 40 years old, man. He's still like it. It's different when you're Tom Brady and you sit there and you avoid getting hits and you pepper the ball left and right. LeBron's still playing competitive basketball at 40.
He's probably the greatest ever. Longevity.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Stevie. Any final thoughts? Anything you want to share? I don't honestly. I don't know if there will be an episode next week. I think we're gonna have to wait and see. What happens in the world. But
we got some politics to discuss. Come on, Joe.
I mean, I'm fine with it. But it's just me and you. Then I'm fine. I'm totally fine with that. And I'm sure he's excited about the. I mean, it would be great if you guys would watch a little bit of the, UEFA Champions League, maybe a little like the EPL's heating up. We got a 3-team race between Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City at the top of the table.
I'll watch that if you watch some conspiracies about Big Mike.
No. How do you have space in your brain for this stuff? Like you don't have time. You don't have space. Like this is.
How do you not have space? That's my. How are you living in this world?
Are you reading any books right now?
No.
I'm gonna send you a book. I'm reading a book called Ghost. It's about an FBI agent in his 30-year career, and it's awesome. It's awesome. That's what I do. Yeah.
Don't get me started.
I actually just finished a book called "Thank You for My Service" by Matt Best, which is hysterical. I'm gonna send you a free copy of that one. Do you do Audible?
I don't. Just give me your account.
No, I'm not giving you my account. Oh, wait, you just log in and read my stuff? But
I
but
think
like
so.
but download it so it doesn't mess up where I am in my listens.
I will.
Okay. All right, Stevie. Well, happy Valentine's Day.
Same to you, brother.
We'll talk to you soon.
All right, brother.
This is the DTC podcast. You can get it anywhere you stream your podcasts. If you're in DC local, just type in Defeating the Curse, Redskins, Commanders, or any other buzzword associated with the DC teams, and our podcast will pop right up on all social media platforms, DTC or Defeating the Curse as well. Until next week, or maybe the week after, we'll see. We're out.